A heat wave, or heat wave, is a period of excessively hot weather, which may be accompanied by high humidity, especially in oceanic climate countries. While definitions vary, a heat wave is usually measured relative to the usual weather in the area and relative to normal temperatures for the season. Temperatures that people from a hotter climate consider normal can be called a heat wave in a cooler area if they are outside the normal climate pattern for that area. The term is applied both to hot weather variations and to extraordinary spells of hot which may occur only once a century. Severe heat waves have caused catastrophic crop failures, thousands of deaths from hypothermia, and widespread power outages due to increased use of air conditioning. A heat wave is considered extreme weather that can be a natural disaster and a danger because heat and sunlight may overheat the human body. Heat waves can usually be detected using forecasting instruments so that a warning call can be issued. A definition based on Fritsch et al.'s heat wave duration index is that a heat wave occurs when the daily maximum temperature of more than 5 consecutive days exceeds the average maximum temperature by 5 degrees Celsius. The normal period being 1961 to 1990. A formal, peer-reviewed definition from the Glossary of Meteorology is: the World Meteorological Organization defines a heat wave as 5 or more consecutive days of prolonged heat in which the daily maximum temperature is higher than the average maximum temperature by 5 degrees Celsius. This definition of a heat wave is also used in Belgium and Luxembourg. In Denmark, a national heat wave when the same criteria are met for a 25 degrees Celsius temperature. While in Sweden, a heat wave is defined as at least 5 days in a row with a daily high exceeding 25 degrees Celsius. In the United States, definitions also vary by region. However, a heat wave is usually defined as a period of at least 2 or more days of excessively hot weather. In the Northeast, a heat wave is typically defined as 3 consecutive days where the temperature reaches or exceeds 90 degrees Fahrenheit. The National Weather Service issues heat advisories and excessive heat warnings when unusual periods of hot weather are expected. In Adelaide, South Australia, a heat wave is defined as 5 consecutive days at or above 35 degrees Celsius, or 3 consecutive days at or over 40 degrees Celsius. The Australian Bureau of Meteorology defines a heat wave as 3 days or more of maximum and minimum temperatures that are unusual for the location. Until the introduction of this new pilot heatwave forecast, there was no national definition that described heatwave or measures of heatwave severity. In Greece, according to the Hellenic National Meteorological Service, a heat wave is defined as 3 consecutive days at or above 39 degrees Celsius and a minimum temperature in the same period at or over 26 degrees Celsius, with no winds or with weak winds, and the above conditions being observed in a broad area. In the United Kingdom, the Met Office operates a heat health watch system which places each local authority region into one of 4 levels. Heatwave conditions are defined by the maximum daytime temperature and minimum nighttime temperature rising above the threshold for a particular region. The length of time spent above that threshold determines the particular level. Level 1 is normal summer conditions. Level 2 is reached when there is a 60% or higher risk that the temperature will be above the threshold levels for 2 days and the intervening night. Level 3 is triggered when the temperature has been above the threshold for the preceding day and night, and there is a 90% or higher chance that it will stay above the threshold in the following day. Level 4 is triggered if conditions are more severe than those of the preceding 3 levels. Each of the first 3 levels is associated with a particular state of readiness and response by the social and health services, and level 4 is associated with more widespread response. A more general indicator that allows comparing heat waves in different regions of the world, characterized by different climates, was published in 2015. This was used to estimate heat waves occurrence at the global scale from 1901 to 2010, finding a substantial and sharp increase in the amount of affected areas in the last 2 decades. Heat waves form when high pressure aloft strengthens and remains over a region for several days up to several weeks. This is common in summer as the jet stream follows the sun. On the equator side of the jet stream, in the upper layers of the atmosphere, is the high-pressure area. Summertime weather patterns are generally slower to change than in winter. As a result, this upper-level high pressure also moves slowly. Under high pressure, the air subsides toward the surface, warming and drying adiabatically, inhibiting convection and preventing the formation of clouds. Reduction of clouds increases shortwave radiation reaching the surface. A low pressure at the surface